course. Y'all know I'm out here grinding today. I'm over here in Chicago. Check out my view. Alright, so for this video right here, I'm going to talk to y'all about company drivers versus lease-owned drivers versus owner-operated drivers. Right? And since I've been out here, one thing that I noticed is the money that a lot of people say that they make. One, the money that they say that they make is a lie. And two, once you taking everything out, it's basically the same as a company driver with a lot of these companies. Now, don't get me wrong. I have worked for some companies where you actually get paid. Y'all gotta excuse my GPS as they interrupted me. But yeah, I've worked for some companies where you actually get paid, as an owner-operator, seeing $10,000 a week or whatever the case may be. I've actually done it. But let me explain this to y'all. So I'm watching the guys over at, what is it called? Landstar. And a lot of the guys from Landstar, owner-operators, say, hey, I make between $2,000 and $4,000. Every time they say $4,000, I guess that's a good week for them or whatever. That's what it seems like. So my question is this: how much fuel are you spending at Landstar? When you take out for maintenance, how much are you actually netting? How much do you actually net? That's what I want to know, because I got a strange feeling when everything is said and done, if you bring home $4,000, in actuality, you're only bringing home, $3,000 or maybe $2,500. I don't know, depending on how much fuel you got. But that's what I think. I don't know that yet. I don't work for Landstar, but that's just from what I gathered from it or whatever. So a lot of guys, y'all know, y'all got to be careful. A lot of people say, hey, I can't wait to get my own truck. And they go out there and buy their own truck, and they lease on with some people. Like I seen one guy paying $1.80 a mile. And, on average, you may do 3,500 miles or whatever. Let's just say $2 a mile for easy mathematics. So if you're doing 3,500 miles, that's about 7,000. That's more my cup of tea. So I don't understand how these guys are saying they got, 4,000. They bring home 4,000, and their monthly expenses is only $200-300. I don't understand that. So if anybody can, want to break that down in the comment section, feel free. Because if that's the deal, I don't want any part of that deal. Because my insurance is $800. How the hell is your insurance $100? I don't know. I'm just saying me. I don't have a terrible record, but being a trucker, we have our run-ins with Mr. DOT. But that's what I don't understand. Like, I had a friend. He went out there, bought his truck. He ran it for about 2 months, and he was trying to save some money, but in actuality, he wasn't. And so basically, what happened was the turbo went out on the truck. And it basically drove him out of business because he couldn't get the couple grand that he needed to get the turbo fixed. I have another friend, he bought a truck, and a month later, he needed 2 tires. He couldn't afford to get 2 tires. I think it came up to like $2,000 a piece with the rim. I mean, $2,000 in total with the rim, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a lot of factors that a lot of guys don't put into perspective when they want to jump straight into being an owner-operator. A lot of people want accounts as an owner-operator. Okay, but think about when the holidays come around. The whoever is whoever you have an account with, yeah, they may be closed on Christmas Day, but they may want it that day after Christmas. So you got to get on the road Christmas. So I mean, what are you really gaining from it when you become an owner-operator? And a lot of guys don't put this into retrospect when they jump out there. Don't get me started on the lease program, because I've heard a lot of guys with some success stories with the lease, but I just can't see myself paying $800 a week for a truck. And it's like a pendulum, so to speak. Okay, if I get a lot of miles, my truck payment is expensive. An example, lease on guys. With the company drivers, I don't got to worry about anything, but I'm not getting paid as much. I can't go home when I want to. I mean, just think about the life of us truckers, man. It's kind of shitty. I give you a week of my life, and in return, you give me pay in one free day. Like, that's how a lot of guys do. When I was a company driver, I didn't go for that shit. I'm like, look here, I'm going for 3 weeks. I may take a month off. You want to fire me, fire me. You know, I'm going for 3 weeks. I may, usually I take my 4 or 5 days off if I'm going for 3 weeks. But from time to time, especially during Christmas time, I take a whole entire month off. You know, from December 25th all the way down to freaking January 25th. Because January 20th is my birthday or whatever. So I would take a whole entire month off. But now that I'm an owner-operator and I understand the game a little bit more, company driver wasn't a bad deal when you think about it. I mean, as far as the headache go, you fuck up the truck, they pay for it. You know, they may take your escrow or whatever, but hey, whatever, do what you gotta do. Granted, they can fire you, but if it's a mistake that you honestly made and they can understand it, they may just take some money out every week. You know, I had all that stuff happen to me. I've been doing this for 6 years. Granted, you got guys that have been doing this for 30, 40 years, but in those 6 years, I learned a lot to be successful in this business. And another thing you'll notice is a lot of people come out here who never drove a truck, don't know jack shit about trucking, and what they would do is go and buy the cheapest truck they can find and want to stick somebody in it. That's like, I don't understand why people do that. Everybody wants to be a boss, but never was raised around bosses. It doesn't work like that. You are what you surround yourself by. I work with one guy and I could not stand him, but let's take a step back for a second. If you plan on being a fleet owner, right, or having somebody drive, your truck or a couple of your trucks, rule number one is your personal car should not look better than the work truck. And that is like a big red flag for me. When you pull up in your Hellcat, but you want to give me a 2004 truck with no power steering, that says a lot. That says that you will put yourself first before you put your company. You will cheat me before you cheat your company, or before you cheat yourself, because if you cheat me, you're cheating your company.
There is currently light traffic on your route.
Well, no shit. But yeah, that's, it's just crazy out here. So it's a lot of red flags that I see. But one thing about it, guys, ask yourself, is it worth it going to an owner-operator, or is it worth it going to a lease? And some things that come into perspective with that is, where do you live? If I stayed in the Northeast or Ohio, hey, I'm fine. But I don't think that I would want to be an owner-operator trying to come home every week if I stay in the middle of nowhere, I don't know how the loads look in Ohio, but I'm just going to use Idaho. I don't know how the loads look in Idaho, but I'm just going to use that for a point of reference. When I think of Idaho, I just think you're in a place that's in the middle of nowhere. I apologize if that's false, but that's just what I think. So when you trying to come home every week, you come home on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you go back out there on a Monday, are you going to find a load that Monday? Are you going to find a good load? Because I know for a fact Florida is very seasonal. And if you're trying to come home every week, hey, it may be possible for you, if you run your ass off after you get out of Florida and drop that load off, yeah, you can make it. But, I see a lot of these guys out here saying, hey, I put down 2,300 miles or whatever the case may be, and they bring home about, 4,500 bucks. But when everything is said and done, they leave with like 2,500 bucks. Hell, I made that as a company driver. Now you got to deal with the burden of a headache. And out that 2,500, what are you putting away for maintenance? What are you gonna do when that truck pop, when that tire pop? So at that 2,500, let's just say on a great day you found a tire for 500 bucks for easy mathematics. So now that's 2,000 bucks that you bring home. Not saying every week something is gonna happen, but are you putting away that type of money for the what if? So guys, think about all this stuff before you decide to go out there and be an owner operator. I know a lot of guys think this stuff is easy, but trust and believe me, it's not. And I can look at some of these so-called bosses and fleet owners, and they have the slightest fucking clue about trucking. I had one guy every other day, he would try to give me a load for like 1,800 miles. Granted, I can do it, but at what cost? What if I get pulled over by DOT and they see I was on personal conveyance for 3-4 hours? What if I killed someone in that truck because I was so tired and they actually looked at my logs? See, a lot of people don't think about stuff like that. All money isn't good money. So guys, don't take what I say with a grain of salt. Granted, I'm a young buck out here with only 6 years of experience, but within those 6 years, I've learned a lot. I put myself around people that had those 30, 40 years of experience, and what that allowed me to do is to be very successful in this game. Like I said, a lot of people doing flatbed. Oh, I get paid good money. Well, what is good money? Well, I get paid 50 cents a mile. And I'm like, 50 cents a mile? That's like, I don't know, but when I was on company driver, I think the most I made for company driver was 70 cents. Great company, by the way. So when I see guys saying, hey, look, I work for 45 cents. Hey, man, if you got 3-4 years under your belt and you still work for 45 cents, something is wrong. It's time for the truckers to take back the industry, because when they pay you 45 cents, where do you think the rest of that money is going at? And God forbid they're one of those people where their personal cars look way better, a lot better than the work truck. They're taking that money and then depositing it into their pocket when that could be money for you. And the company that I used to work for, they had it all down packed to a science. They would give you a 5-cent bonus for every mile that you drove. Every couple of months, they would give you another 5-cent bonus, just a regular bonus. So, some days it was equivalent to making 80 cents a mile. But a lot of these so-called bosses or fleet owners, which I can't stand those fucking people half the time. The ones at least that don't know jack shit about trucking. They just had $20,000 in their bank account and they went and got 2 of the cheapest trucks they can fucking find. And they want to stick you in it. Like, it doesn't work that way, Jack. I'm sorry. But y'all stay safe. Keep the rubber side down. Peace.